For every action, inaction, and reaction that is happening around us, certain biochemicals are either used or formed to produce outcomes that are useful or harmful to us. In other words, all events occurring in our lives are interconnected with a series of biochemical responses taking place in our bodies. The necessity to protect and preserve our natural sources of food, to move the world forward to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals 14, Life Below Water, and 15, Life on Land. Biochemicals are the building blocks upon which life is formed. So we can equally call them the ingredients of life. Sperm production in men, egg production in women, pregnancy, breast milk production, and other day-to-day activities are happening due to the interactions of these biochemicals with one another. So deficiencies or high levels of these biochemicals can lead to health issues, making it difficult for us to carry out our daily routine activities and causing us to lose some working hours or be absent at school. For instance, cortisol, also known as stress hormone, is a biochemical that supports the body to protect itself against infections. It also helps to maintain normal levels of sugar in our blood to protect us from having hyperglycemia, which refers to high levels of sugar in the blood, and hypoglycemia, which refers to low levels of sugar in the blood. However, persistent stress can raise our cortisol levels, causing us to experience feelings of depression and anxiety. On the other hand, serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, also known as feel-good hormones, are biochemicals that can control our cortisol levels and make us feel good. So daily exercise for up to 20 minutes, practicing deep breathing, engaging in social activities with friends and families, as well as sleeping for up to 8 hours every night can help boost our serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, control our cortisol levels, and make us feel good. This is the biochemistry of joy and happiness that we experience while spending quality time with our loved ones. By doing so, we are promoting mental health and well-being for Sustainable Development Goal 3, good health and well-being. Other ways to live a life that is less stressful are to effortlessly avoid sorrowful stories and fill our minds with stories that will inspire us and make us feel good. Sorrowful stories are narratives that evoke feelings of sadness, grief, and emotional pain. Consuming some of these stories seems to do more harm than good to our societies because they make us feel anxious and depressed, drain our energy, demoralize us, and interfere with our cognitive process to make informed decisions about our lives, hindering our personal growth and development. Instead of sharing the sorrowful stories as they are, why not focus on finding solutions and transform the stories into feel-good experiences? This will inspire us not to lose hope in life, strengthen us to function at our best, become highly productive, and give back to our communities. So collectively, we can build a happy and productive society that will contribute to the overall economic growth of Nigeria for SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. Also, stop thinking negatively. Be positive at all times. It is okay to procrastinate with purpose, so don't be too hard on yourself. You can't always get everything done at once. Always do what you can and set aside other tasks for later. If you lack the strength to work on difficult tasks, begin with smaller ones until you become familiar with the process, then you can move on to handle the difficult ones. From the dietary perspectives, avoid staying hungry for too long and minimize your consumption of sugar, junk foods, fried foods, processed meats, coffee, and other foods containing caffeine. When you regularly consume these foods, you are going to be having a consistent rise in your cortisol levels, which then exposes you to the risk of experiencing the feelings of depression and anxiety. Let me explain. Staying hungry can make you have low levels of blood sugar. This gives cortisol the opportunity to step in and play its role to bring up your blood sugar to normal levels. So, if you regularly stay hungry for too long, you are going to be having a consistent rise in your cortisol levels that will be working to bring up your blood sugar levels to normal. These biochemical interactions expose you to the risk of experiencing the feelings of depression and anxiety. Secondly, Insulin, also known as a blood sugar regulator, is the main biochemical regulating our blood sugar, and it usually steps in to play its role when we consume foods containing sugar. However, high consumption of foods containing sugar can cause insulin resistance, a condition where your body resists or prevents insulin from regulating your blood sugar optimally. This condition causes your blood sugar to rise and then gives cortisol the opportunity to step in and play its role to prevent the rise in your blood sugar levels. So, if you regularly consume foods containing sugar, you are going to be having a consistent rise in your cortisol levels that will be working to prevent the rise in your blood sugar levels. These biochemical interactions also expose you to the risk of experiencing the feelings of depression and anxiety. Thirdly, junk foods, fried foods, and processed meats used to have harmful substances in them, like pentosidine and methylglyoxal. These substances are formed through a process called glycation, and it occurs during food processing or cooking at high temperature. Although glycation occurs less in natural foods and occurs more in highly processed foods and foods containing sugar and oil. So, if you regularly consume junk foods, fried foods, processed meats, and sugar, you are going to be having an accumulation of these substances in your body. This creates a condition called oxidative stress. The oxidative stress also causes your cortisol levels to rise. Therefore, the more you consume these foods, the more your cortisol levels rises, which then exposes you to the risk of experiencing the feelings of depression and anxiety. In fact, this is the science behind aging. Fourthly, coffee and other foods containing caffeine stimulate the release of adrenaline in your body. Adrenaline is a biochemical that makes your brain more alert to help you respond quickly to stress, excitement, or danger. But the energy required to achieve all this is supplied with the support of cortisol. So, if you regularly consume coffee and other foods containing caffeine, you are going to be having more adrenaline activity in your body, which in turn causes your cortisol levels to rise. These biochemical interactions also expose you to the risk of experiencing the feelings of depression and anxiety. Take a bold step towards optimizing your health and well-being through diet by consulting a registered dietitian nutritionist who will design your meal plan that meets your unique nutritional needs based on your age, gender, height, weight, genetic status, health status, the nature of your job, and the environment you live in. By tapping into the expertise of a registered dietitian nutritionist, you will unlock the full potential of your food choices and set yourself up for optimal health and well-being. Foods that can make you experience the feelings of joy and happiness are balanced diets. They do so by boosting your serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, the biochemicals responsible for your feelings of joy and happiness. Not only that, balanced diet also strengthens your body's defense mechanisms to protect you from illness, enabling you to live a healthy, active, and productive life that will support your personal growth and development. The foods you obtain from plants, particularly fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and oats, provide you with the vitamins and minerals you need to produce serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. Tyrosine, tryptophan, and phenylethylamine are biochemicals that serve as building blocks for serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. You can source tyrosine and tryptophan from beans, lentils, nuts, seeds, turkey, and chicken. And if you are a chocolate lover, you'll be happy to know that dark chocolate is a good source of phenylethylamine. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon fish and walnuts can also boost your serotonin and dopamine. Omega-3 fatty acids make your brain more fluid and flexible to allow better communication between your brain cells to effectively use tyrosine and tryptophan to produce serotonin and dopamine. Now that we understand that biochemicals are the building blocks upon which life is formed, which is why we call them the ingredients of life, then eradicating malnutrition in our communities should begin with making sure pregnant women, breastfeeding mothers, and children under the age of 5 years have access to these biochemicals. But that's not all. Even the medicines we take when we are ill need to work with these biochemicals to help us recover from the illness. And if we are lacking in these biochemicals, the medicines might not work properly or could even harm us. A call to action to end all forms of malnutrition in Africa for Sustainable Development Goal 2, Zero Hunger. The biochemicals that have founded our lives are carbohydrates, proteins, fat and oil, vitamins and minerals. They are popularly known as nutrients, and they can be categorized into macronutrients and micronutrients. The macronutrients are the carbohydrates, proteins, fat and oil. They are called macronutrients because our bodies need them in large quantities. The micronutrients are the vitamins and minerals. They are called micronutrients because our bodies need them in small quantities compared to the macronutrients. You can source both macronutrients and micronutrients in their natural form from plants and animals, or in their processed form. But if you source them naturally, it is so far the best choice for your health and well-being. This is because natural foods are low in added sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats. They have no artificial preservatives, color, or flavor. This allows them to retain their nutrient content, making them more nutritious than the processed foods. Here is the thing. Foods in their natural form are rich in phytonutrients. But if you put the natural foods through high processing, the phytonutrients begin to disappear. And in the end, the highly processed food may contain little to no phytonutrients. So the more a natural food is processed, the more it loses its phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are biochemicals found in the foods you obtain from plants. They act as antioxidants in our bodies to protect us from chronic diseases like heart disease and cancer. They also have various functions in the body. To sum it up, prioritize a diet rich in natural foods to maximize your daily intake of nutrients. By maximizing your daily intake of nutrients, you are giving your body the best opportunity to function optimally and reduce the risk of malnutrition and related health problems. Thank you.